Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the unfiltered convo I had with Kate Hudson in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to the interview, feel free to pause this now, go back and listen to that one, and then come back and join us, or listen to this one, and then listen to that one, and see if you like the takeaways we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can pick. Choose.
You have a choice. So we are super the freaking calendar is going way too fast for me personally. But we are just a couple weeks away from our 7th agency mini, which is our 7-day coaching program.
Pretty amazing. I
know. And I miss it. It's been a long time.
Yeah. I mean, we only do it twice a year. So it's, we try to make it roughly 6 months apart. Sometimes it's a little off, but it's
like a 4 month and then a 9 month.
Yeah, this one was a longer time than usual. So, yeah.
Well, because we used to do it in the summertime, and the reality is it's not the best time for most people. So
yeah, everybody's traveling and on vacation.
We have
hanging at the beach.
We do an early year and then a fall, and that's how it goes. And this is our 7-day coaching program, which if you've never coached with us or you've been thinking about coaching with us, this is the way to get specifically clarity on not just how to coach with us, but also on your business.
Yeah.
So,
we're very, we love helping people build a foundation that they might have skipped. Most people will start using social media without realizing what they're using social media for. Or, they're getting out there and they're taking messy action, which we love. Well, messy action.
Sometimes they're not even taking messy action. They're like, I'm going to get a logo, and I'm going to get my colors, and I'm going to get my fonts and my branding done.
Sure.
And the reality is if you don't know who you're actually for on this planet, and you haven't spent the time, and you're just trying to shout to the rooftops to everybody, come do my class, come take my class, my class is amazing, you're talking to no one.
Yeah.
And so really getting clarity on that and building that foundation. And
how do you connect with people? Who are you for? What problem do you solve? All these kinds of things. This kind of clarity, that's everything we're going to go through. How do you share your story?
Yeah. And also, by the way, we'll answer every single question you have about business that we can. I mean, we really do try to answer them all, even if it's like, hey, this literally requires at least a 2-hour coaching call. But I love you. But we really try to be honest with you because we've done it all. So even if you think you have clarity, I still suggest joining the program because A, it never hurts to go back and look and make sure you didn't miss a step. And B, there's tons of time to get questions and answers on everything else. Also, this time we are doing something new. We've been letting people jump into the group early.
Yeah. So this is unusual. Ahead of time, you can jump into our private Facebook group and start getting acquainted and getting yourself prepared.
Yeah, we're giving little weekly homework assignments to y'all. And so you can actually sign up now at profitablepilates.com/mini. And then you can get invited into the private group early to start working on some homework so that when we kick off, your foundations are really in the ground. And then we will have that 7 days together where it's amazing. It's so much fun. It really has helped so many people with their business. Whether or not you coach with us afterwards, I have had incredible testimonials and feedback of things people have done just by being in that 7-day group.
Yeah.
And then of course we hope that you join us inside of agency where we just love on you all the time.
Well, next it's time for some drama.
What is the drama?
Well, we had this epic audience question that can be dramatic. So
I know.
All right. So we're just going to jump right into it. Have you, Lesley, ever had to fire a client?
Yes, I got this question from somebody, and without naming names because I don't want to out her on this, she gave me a ton of like things going on with the person, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you have the urge, if you have this like gut feeling you've got to fire a client, you don't actually need to justify it. I'm going to be really honest. Like, I think, and this kind of goes into what we're going to talk about with Kate Hudson. I think especially as women, we're like, oh, I have to have a reason. They had to be in the most off. Like, there has to be a reason.
I didn't write them up 3 times.
Yeah. And
I'm not following corporate HR.
Well, actually they're going through this thing and like,
Sure.
We make all these excuses for them. No, that stops now.
Yeah.
If for whatever reason you have this feeling that this client is not right for you, whether or not they're being an asshole or they are just like saying things that are inappropriate, if you are having this feeling, you must fire this client. Now,
it could even be like an energy exchange,
Yeah.
if your client is always coming in, frenetic or hysterical or like super, super high strung, and that is messing with you, then it might be time to help her find somebody else to work with.
So as instructors, whatever your modality is, there's a scope of practice. Now, if you are an actual therapist, then your scope of practice is to do therapy. But if you're not one of those, if in your scope, therapy is not a thing, and someone actually is requiring therapy, it is important for you to say, hey, hi, here's what I can help you with, but what you need right now is this. And so here are a list of people that I trust who could help you, or they will help give you referrals to someone else.
Yeah.
But I actually can only do this for you. And this is what I'm seeing you need. And if the person is not willing to stay within your scope and they're like you can refund them on the rest of their package. Yes, I know that's money, but give it back. Here you go. I have had to fire a client and it cost me $1,400 and 2 very difficult conversations. And to be honest, I knew I was going to have to fire her the moment she bought a package. It was a bad day and I needed some money. And I was like, I took it. I was like, this is not the right client for me. I knew it in the moment, but I had an assistant. I hired another person and I was like, well, I should just say yes to this. And she, every single day of her standing appointments, would text me that day to move herself on that day, every single time. And she had these standing appointments, and I had to take her aside after session 7 and say, look, here's the deal. You don't get to have standing appointments if you're going to move them around. So if you would like to schedule them randomly, you can, but you have to use my booking system, and it only shows you what's happening within 24 hours. You cannot do same day. So you need to know that, oh, no. I'm going to keep my times. My times work really good for me. I'm going to keep my times. Okay. Now we're 2-3 packages later. She's still practicing this whole little shindig. I am ignoring her text messages and I just ignored them. I did not even engage whether she showed up or not. I charged her. That's how the tools work. You should use our scheduling tool if you don't have one. And
yes,
then she started to be abusive to the client that came in after her because she was being a little snarky and like, oh, must be nice. And I was like, okay, now you're crossing a line because now not only are you abusing me, now you're abusing someone else. That's not okay. So she sent me this nasty email about something. When she came in, I taught her session. At the end, I said, here's the deal. You have this many sessions left. Here's a check for them. I am not the right teacher for you. And I know that's hard to hear. I know you really like coming here. I know you've made leaps and bounds. But the reality is you need someone who has a more flexible schedule than I. And you need someone who specializes in the situations that you're going through.
Yeah.
And so when you're ready, I'm happy to refer you to some people. In the meantime, here's your money back. She was horrifying. It was an awful conversation I had to have with her. She couldn't have been more mean.
Yeah.
And then she sent me another really mean email.
Yep.
And I didn't respond. There's nothing to respond to in those situations. By the way, if you feel like you have to defend yourself, then you feel like you have to defend yourself. But I stood on like my foundation. This person was violating my rules and I'm not going to defend myself. I don't need to. So then a couple months later, she reaches out. She wants to come back to Pilates. She's been working on her schedule.
As if nothing happened.
As if nothing, like literally she acted like nothing happened. And I was like, no.
Like, am I taking crazy pills?
What is going on? So I referred her to someone else. I said, here are some referrals. And then I talked to my referrals and I said, just want you to know, She can be a really good person when she wants to. Here are the things that she does that you need to be aware of.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you, she and her new teacher were two peas in a fucking pod. They had the best time. They did a great job. And last I heard, she never missed a session. So just so you know, if you have a client that's like driving you freaking bananas, they could make someone else a nice coffee cake. And so I would say, like, don't put up with things. If you have put boundaries in place and you've enforced them, well, you don't like my analogy.
When was the last time you had a coffee cake?
Okay. I really miss one. I miss it. Is it Edelman's? Endemans? Endelman's? You know, the coffee cake they make at the store?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's pretty darn good.
That's so good.
Yeah, I know.
It's been at least 20.
Entenmann's?
I think it's Entenmann's.
Entenmann's.
Endelman is our friend. Ken Edelman's body. But I think it's Entenmann's. I can see the writing and, that coffee cake. But anyways, going back to this, you don't actually have to justify firing a client. And yes, you probably made mistakes along the way in upholding your boundaries. It's okay. After this podcast, you will not do that anymore. And if you join Agency Mini or Agency, you will not do that anymore.
Yeah, boundaries, you know.
We train people how to treat us. We really do.
Yeah.
So here's what I want you to do. Take a deep breath. Figure out how many sessions they have left. And then say, thank you so much for letting me teach you this entire time. I am no longer available to teach you. And I know that's hard. And I know change is hard. So I don't want to assume that you want to find a new teacher right away. But when you do, please reach out. And I will happily introduce you to someone. Or here on this Post-it note that I've got right here is all the information so you can take it up on your own when you're ready.
Yeah.
I thank you so much. And then whatever.
Notice that she didn't even tell her why. I am not the right teacher for you. Here's your money back. You're not going to convince crazy that there's
they're crazy.
No chance that, like, if you know, you can say you signed my client agreement and you keep breaking my client agreement.
You can say it. If that's what's going on, you could totally do that. And that's also really nice. The thing is, it's like firing someone in a job. They're not listening. No. And they're never just think back to the last time you were dumped. Did you agree with the person dumping you? Like, let's just be real. Did you actually agree with like any of the things they said? No. So there's your client who's crazy is never going to go, you know what? You're right. I've been lying about all of my illnesses. They're never going to say that.
You know what I did? I got completely blackout drunk last night, and I just skipped my class with you this morning and totally blew you off, and then asked you, not to charge me for it. Yeah.
So besides not charging you for it, I have had clients just text me, I got completely blackout drunk last night and please charge me for that. And they are still my clients because
but that's different.
They follow the boundaries.
They did.
They follow the rules. But I'm just saying, like, when you have someone that you're like, this person is actually like just really affecting my ability to teach my other clients and run my business, you must let them go. You don't have to make excuses for it. You don't even have to tell them why. And if they ask, you can say, we've discussed this in prior conversations. I'm happy to send you screenshots of those, of the boundaries I've had and how you violated them. You can say that, but
they will not take you up on that. They will not be like, yeah, you text me. You send me every single time.
I'm going to tell you right now, no one's going to say, thanks for firing me. I promise you. So there's no reason to do that. Just
you don't even need to. You just keep it simple. Hey,
keep it simple.
I'm not the right teacher for you.
Here's the money.
Here's your refund.
And like, if you're worried, like the retaliation, well, that's what cops are for. So first of all, if they're retaliating you via email or text message, screenshot all of it, save it, do not respond, send it to the police.
Yeah.
If they are going to write a bad review, let me just tell you right now.
You also have the opportunity to reply to said bad review, and that's like, that can be just as powerful in the other way, where you get to justify it.
Yeah.
But you get to do it publicly in front of everyone, and you get to say, you signed my client agreement, and yet you were consistently late over a 6-month period, and you never did this thing, and you never did that thing, and you ripped my stuff, whatever.
And you know what? That will make you feel really fucking good. Yeah. You'll feel really good about that. And that's what I'll say about that. But I know it's scary. This is why client agreements are a real thing. If you don't have one, use our scheduling tool. We give you one.
Yeah.
These are contracts that you actually wear. This is how you agree.
Client waiver and the studio agreement is the studio agreement is like, this is what you agree to do when you come
agree to reschedule in this appropriate time. You agreed to pay on this time. It's all these very important things. My loves, you are the only person who can do what you do the way that you do it. I cannot have you burn out because someone did not follow your boundaries. You didn't enforce them. And you're like, well, they could say something bad about me out there, so I guess I'll just keep putting up with it. If your friend was telling you about a boyfriend, just treating them like crap, would you go, oh, well, you know what? They could say things to other guys that could make you not dateable, so you should just stay with him. Never. You would never do that. You would never do that, but you do that in your business all the time. Yeah. Okay, I'm off my soapbox.
All right. Now let's talk. I mean, that was pretty dramatic. I mean,
you labeled it the drama section.
I did. I totally did.
I didn't think it was going to be dramatic, but then we went there.
Okay, now let's talk about Kate Hudson. Everyone has to have their eat, pray, love moment. And for an executive life coach and owner of Shattered Glass Coaching, Kate Hudson's moment came on the beach in a jungle, sitting in the sand. She decided it was time for a woman to learn how to show up with confidence. It was time for women to learn how to show up with confidence and embody the mindset needed to lead in their professions. And Kate has now made it her life's mission to help her clients overcome fear and create the life that they really wanted. In fact, I think she also was talking about sitting on a surfboard.
I'm pretty sure she was sitting on a surfboard.
But she was working a job, not excited about it, and did a retreat. And on the retreat, she was having a conversation with one of the other retreaters, and the other retreater was like, you should be coaching people.
Yeah. You know what I think? I think anytime you're super bored at your job, I'm like, why me? I think you should go, oh my God, I'm about to have my moment.
I'm about to have my moment.
I'm about to have it. If I'm bored in a job, that means I'm being set up for something amazing. It's time to go to the beach. I'm just saying, like, I really think that like people are like, woe is me. And it's like, actually, this is going to be the rock bottom you need to do your movie, your whole thing.
Yeah. And if you need a forum in order for you to have that discovery, join us in Cambodia.
Yeah, that's a jungle.
It is a jungle. There's not a beach in that one, but there's a lake.
There's a lake. It's beautiful. Anyways, okay, I really love that she said, don't confuse free time with availability. Boom. Like, just take a moment right there. Free time and being available. There is times during the day that I am available that I definitely don't want to be called, chat with anyone, do anything. It is not, am I at free time? I'm like, ooh, what do I want to do? Not be available for you. That's what it is. And so I really love that she actually verbalized that, because I wonder, listeners, hi, how often have you confused your free time with being available?
Sure.
Like, people are like, I want to read a book, but they're always going out with friends. Well, you probably had time to read that book. You could, like, I'm not saying like ditch your friends, but I'm just saying, like, look at how much time you're giving away as free time that doesn't need to be available time.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's, we're talking about boundaries already. And this is one more of those things. You know, there is, whether your free time is in the morning and you're meditating or taking a walk, and it's just you being, with you, or it's in the evening and, you specifically don't have plans that night. It doesn't, you have free time is valuable. It's an opportunity for your mind to recharge, your body to recharge, for you to maybe get into something fun, a new hobby like she's talking about, or even just reading a book like Lesley was just talking about. Sorry, but it doesn't. That time has value, and if you lump it in with this is someone calls and says, hey, did you want to go out? It's going to change that time dramatically. Sure, you're going to get a chance to hang with friends or do or any of that kind of thing, but you're not getting that recharge time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I remember back in LA when people are like, okay, when are you guys available for dinner? And we would see that Friday night is available, but saying yes to that would mean that we were having dinner on Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. So sure. Yes, it's available, but it's not free.
Yeah.
And you have to just be really clear on like, if you were an extrovert who's like, fuck yeah, book me all the time with people, that's fine. Like, know yourself, right? But just also make sure that when you say yes to things, that you are actually being conscious that it is going to take you away from other things, which I think I'm leading into you.
Yeah, because I really loved, she said, saying no actually means you're saying yes to something else, or vice versa. And it's funny because it took me a second to realize what she did there. I'm just going to say it again. Saying no means you're saying yes to something else. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're not necessarily like, yes, you're telling your friend, no, I'm not coming out. Okay, and you can dwell on that, and you can be upset at yourself or whatever. But there's you can also reframe that decision, and you can say, hey, I would love to go out with you, but I have already said yes to something else. And that something else is going to bed on time, or having a quiet night, or reading the book like we were just talking about. Mm-hmm. Right. So and it's the same.
And just to put in there, you don't have to ever justify a no or a yes. Just like going back to our little question we had, you don't ever have to justify anything you say.
Right. You don't have to explain to them. You just made the decision, and that is the decision. That's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Right. So if you are on a roll, and you know that you feel good when you get 8 hours of sleep, and you're like consistently going to bed at 9 o'clock, and someone says, hey, do you want to go see a comedy show at 8? You can say, I'm sorry, I've already said yes to something at 9.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, you did? And you're like, yeah, my fucking pillow. Like, you don't have to explain that.
You know what? Let's just go back to before we were dating, you called me one night. And
yes, I did.
You called me and you wanted to hang out, and I was like, no. Call me earlier.
Yeah.
I'm asleep already.
I used to stay super late at the office. Like, I would leave at 7 or 8 p.m. And she was like, don't come by. I was like, what the? Okay, I won't.
Yeah, you have to call me earlier.
Yeah.
And he never called me that late ever again. He called earlier.
That's
after
true.
that.
That was boundaries.
Yeah. So, but I think it's really important. Sometimes we think if we say no to something that we're going to disappoint people. Here's the deal. You probably will. But if they hold that against you, here's your sign. That's not the right person to be around.
Right.
All of my most amazing relationships are not offended when I go off the face of the earth to them. They know it's not personal.
Yeah.
If you are a person in my life and you take it personally that I took a week and I didn't text or call you, we are not friends, because I don't have people who need me to coddle them in my life. I don't do that. That's not how it works with me.
Yeah.
And it might sound really cold, but I promise you, when I had those people in my life, I was an asshole. I was stressed out, crying, frustrated, lost. I am I'm able to be present with people. I'm able to love and be generous with my time and my love for them, because they don't expect me to say yes to everything. So I just had my 40th birthday party. And yes, you did.
One of my closest friends.
Looking good at 40. Took him 40 years to look this good.
One of my closest friends wasn't able to be there for the actual hang, and another one of my closest friends wasn't able to be at our wedding, and it doesn't change the fact that they're still some of my closest friends, so.
I just want to say this because I listened to Eliza Schlesinger's Ask Eliza Anything. Everyone, it's fucking amazing. And Eliza will be a guest on this show. I'm putting that out there. Guys don't ever have a problem with this. Sorry, ladies. Like, most guys do not take offense. Like, it's a bummer.
Yeah, I was bummed, but it's okay.
But it wasn't, you weren't like, oh my God, I can't believe he wasn't at my wedding. But women, ladies, we need to get it together. It is not personal if someone can't make your thing.
Right.
And if it is person who is doing that to be personal, have some balls to actually say, I'm not coming to your wedding because I don't like the person you're marrying, period. Like, end of, like, whatever it is, just say the thing. I just think that, like, we're like walking around like, oh my God, I want to offend anyone. I want to do this. I want to do those things. I'm tired of it. And your people in your life should understand that no means no, and it's not personal, and that you are, when you say no to something, going back to Kate, because she's amazing, you are allowing yourself to say yes to something else.
Yeah.
And you may not know what that something else is, or you may be very freaking clear. But I get offered to do things all the time, and it's like, I could say yes to those things, but it will mean saying no to something else that could come up. And so I'm really like, I have a little like roadmap. I have some things I think about. I give myself some time. I'm like, hey, can I get back to you on that? When do you need to know by? So that I can actually weigh it all out and make sure, one, I'm not saying yes because...
Yeah, think about it. Sure.
Yeah, because I don't want to say yes because words of affirmation, love language, hello. Like, it's really flattering to be invited to things. And I also want to make sure that when I say yes, I'm not going to be able, I'm not going to bail, because I don't do that. Like, if I say yes to something, I'm there.
Yeah.
And so I really try to make sure that I don't say yes to things and then go, hey, you know what? I know I said to go to dinner at your house tonight, and it's 5:00 and you've been making dinner all day, I'm sure. I'm not coming. Like, I don't do that. So if you're struggling to say no to things, find out when people need to know things by. That should just be your go-to. When do you know my answer by? So that you can then start to practice saying yes and no.
Right. Yeah. And it's a great way. That's actually really solid advice, because...
Thank you.
You're so welcome. In the moment, you're going to feel that pressure. Mm-hmm. Right. But if you are giving yourself a buffer, hey, thanks so much for the invitation. Like, when do you need to know by? I want to check my calendar and just make sure everything makes sense. Now you have a time to like process that.
Okay, let's talk about some beit action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo?
From your convo.
From my convo.
With Kate Hudson.
I know, I stole Brad's line.
She did, but it's okay.
It's fine. I love Kate Hudson. If I haven't said it already, it was a really fun, concise, like was really good at like she had so many great little gems in there.
Yeah.
And
it was very unfiltered.
Yeah. Going back to our thing. I hope you all know we change the word every week. Anyways, she had one.
And she gave us one solid action item.
So she said, for the rest of the year, try something new each month that you've never tried before. What are you doing this month that you've never done before?
That is a great question.
I am going to look up this class that our friend Victoria.
Can I, when do you need to know that by? I'm going to check my calendar and get back to you.
Well, we're recording this early, so, but that's a great...
I was just joking about answering your question.
Great stuff. You know what? We actually already did something this month we've never done before. So we're good there.
We did?
Yeah, we went to Chippendales.
Oh, yeah, we did that.
That was so fun.
It was pretty insane.
Shout out to Alex. Way to go. What a great job.
Yeah.
But why both Brad and I love this, and now the thing that I'm going to do for this month I've never tried before, I'm going to put in September, not buy myself some time, because our friend Victoria was like, there's a class at Millennium where you just lay on your back and do like leg stuff, and I was like, that sounds amazing.
It's a dance class.
It's a dance class. Where you lay
on your back.
Yes, but I don't like to take dance classes because I can't dance. But I was like, oh, I could do that. That I could do. I'd be amazing. I might have a new like talent. I might be on a show with this talent. We don't even know yet. I have to go take the class first. But I'll do that for September. But why we loved this is because you and I did the artist way.
Yeah.
And you have to do something different every week. You take yourself on an artist date every week.
Every week.
And it was annoying and also extremely exciting.
It was fun, actually. It took a couple weeks to get in the groove.
Yeah, the first 2 weeks, it just felt like pressure.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I got to make time for this in my schedule. But then it became something to look forward to.
Like a game. Yeah. And it's kind of like, oh, what am I going to do for this that I've never done before? And so why I love this is I think it is, I know for me, I love routine. I love routine so much. I'm doing this thing currently. I'm supposed to look for green cars, and I haven't even left the house. So I just keep looking at the only green car across the street. Going, oh, look, green car, look, green car. Because like I'm supposed to, it's a thing from a book I'm doing.
That's really funny. I think
I love my routine so much I won't leave the house. Like I'll just stay here. I could just stay here for days. I could just stay at the house for days and only leave to walk the dogs. And I'd be like, Yes. So I love this because it's like, oh, if I have to do something new each month, I'm going to have to leave the house.
Well, I think I decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to go fishing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I did that once before when I was like 12.
Are you going to go with my dad?
Yeah.
Great. You know what I want to do? I want to take our paddleboard out. Maybe I'll do that on Sunday by myself.
Fun.
Oh, you'll have the van.
I will.
Okay. Well, I will do that when you get back. But I just
Paddleboarding is fun.
we have a paddleboard and it's fun. And also we can
Make
go
sure
to
you
Lake.
paddleboard at Lake Mead, and we'll
I'm
find
gonna find a
another dead
body. Yes. Oh my gosh. Have y'all heard how many bodies I found? They're at 4 now.
I think it's 4. Yeah.
Yeah. By
Pretty
the way,
nuts.
there's a lot of people who are pouring water into that lake. I swear. Like, come on. The mafia has to be like, get the water in the lake. Get the water in the lake. Anyways, I just think, can you all please do me a humongous favor? Tag this episode.
Yeah.
And tell us what you're going to do this month that you've never tried before.
Yeah.
And if you remember next month, do it again.
Do it again.
Because this is a great way. If you're like hobby hunting or you're unsure what your next step is, I promise you, when you do something different you've never done before, first of all, it's really weird. It's really like scary, nervous, like anxious, like it builds the stuff up. And then you do it. And then you have like this data, going back to John Malora's episode, this data that you can do new things, and it breeds confidence.
Yeah, it does.
All right, I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so freaking grateful for you. How are you going to use these tips in your life? Let us know by sending us a DM to the pod on Instagram, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day. Be It Till You See It is a production of As the Crows Fly Media.
It's written, produced, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell. Our associate producer is Amanda Fraterelli.
Kevin Perez at Disenyo handles all of our audio editing.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to our designer Jairo Mandal for creating all of our visuals, which you can't see because this is a podcast, and our digital producer Jay Perdoso for editing all the video each week so you can.
And to Angelina Herrico for transcribing each of our episodes so you can find them on our website. And finally, to Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time.